Here we go.
Mm,
3, 2, 1. We're live. Welcome back to Robot and the Bear podcast. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while. How's it going, Eric?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm
It's ironically near the end of the year, so we did squeeze in. I guess time is what does it, right? We're like, oh, we're out of time this year. We've got to squeeze one podcast in. That's kind of what happened.
we do. It's time for the year-end review. Night graphics here.
The year
Year-end
end review.
review
I don't really know what that is exactly. But
2022.
I guess there were topics that we were kind of thinking about, right?
Yeah, yeah, there's a
Should we
lot of
start? Should we start at the big electronic topic? Well, there's a
no, no,
couple.
no, no, no.
You
Let's
sure?
start, let's start with a little more base. Let's go.
You
How
don't you
was your
want to
2022?
you don't want to start with a big downer?
No, no, no. Let's build up to the downer.
I think well for me because I guess I'm heavily in retail. Even considering that there's an art gallery, it's still retail in the end.
Right.
I would say 2022 was kind of this weird meshing of getting out of COVID and then getting back to what it was in 2019, I suppose. It's sort of like a step in, step out type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's like a hybrid of both. You didn't have a whole year of like what it's sort of like now, and then at the same time, yeah, part of the year still you're still thinking, oh, there's still this thing out there that might make me sick, which I got sick, and then
Ooh.
but I think that's the difference. It's just that that feeling's different. Otherwise, it's kind of like at this very moment, it's getting almost back to what 2019 is. But there are so many traces of, oh well, but it's not. Even at the end of the year, I'm like, but it's not. it's not. It's not back to 2019. It's just not. So I think
Are
that's kind
you
of one of the things I've noticed most this year is just that change from the beginning of the year till now is this kind of attempt to go back to regular life that's sort of like is, but it's not.
are your spots like open back to like normal like
No,
2019 hours?
absolutely not. No, not at all. I don't think it's worth doing that because again, it's not the same. And uh, I would say in my area, daytime traffic of people like to get lunch is still much lower than it ever was.
Mm.
But nighttime is good, but that's not the customer that's there to buy shit. That's the customer just to eat something, right? And eat desserts or whatever. So
Oh.
um to get the customers that are our normal customers, yeah, I just think we can open shorter hours and be just as good and just
Oh.
as effective, I think.
Mm.
I think that's a fact. We're just as effective with lesser hours, but I know people would rather have more hours because the random stroll and you're open, type of thing. But the random strollers, for the most part, are not customers. They're just random strollers. And
Mm.
you could be hopeful as a business owner to say, well, but that's a future customer, right? That's what they all think, but they're not. They're not. So, they're not.
Why so cynical? Like,
That's the truth. That's my experience of 21 years in the industry. You
right?
know what I'm saying? 21 years in retail, and I think I know the customer habit now. And no, just because they walk by with an ice cream, they look in the window doesn't mean they're going to come back when they don't have an ice cream.
Mm.
It doesn't mean shit. It means you're hopeful that they will, but then that hope is not real. It's just hope. If you want to go with what's real, no, they're not.
Mm.
Absolutely not. They might one day you might get lucky and they are holding an ice cream, spilling it on your shit in the store. It's true. They will. You're gonna eventually go, whoa, somebody spilled an ice cream on all this stuff here, and
Crumbling
they didn't.
crepe
They didn't.
all over your
And
shit.
they didn't say anything. They didn't say anything.
Didn't even say a thing, anything.
No, they just left it there, and you're just like, oh, like what the fuck? So no, we don't let in people anymore with food like we used to,
Mm.
and just because and that cuts down on the strollers that are just trying to get indoors and eat their snack.
There's sticky fingers all over your shit.
Oh, and then people don't know these days how to look at books anymore, right? Like, have you ever seen young people look at books?
No.
They'll take a nice expensive art book, open it, push the whole thing down into the spine, like with their hand, so they could look at it. And I'm like, do you realize you're just thrashing the spine of this book that you don't own? But
Wow.
that's kind of what I've noticed a lot of people do. They're not careful. They're just kind of like opening it all the way. You can hear it crack and then they push down. That's a
Oh
thing.
no.
People don't know what books are anymore. So that's kind of interesting.
Wow.
Anyway, so that's that.
Well, my 2022 is pretty good.
Ultimately, mine too. I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm saying I just made realizations, but ultimately, no, it was still good.
Like I finally started busting. I think almost all my major shows were international this year. So I had like a show in Rome, and I had a show in Australia, and I did not go out to Australia because, you know, they never like really reached out to me and asked to like or offered me like, oh, fly out to Australia, we'll put you up or whatever. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, well, I'm not really interested in like throwing, that much money to travel out there. But I did go to Rome, and that was my first time in Europe, and it was great.
It was the
And
first time in Europe.
first time in Europe proper.
Wow,
Like I've been
awesome.
to London before, but like most people would say, ah, no, that's not Europe. Um,
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah. And so like, went to Rome, went to Paris, went to London. And yeah, that was great. I had went out there with my girlfriend, had a good time, saw all the dumb tourist shit because it's your first time, you got to do all the dumb tourist shit,
Sure.
and still haven't caught COVID despite like what felt like a lot of fucking great opportunities to get COVID. So
That's
um,
amazing. I
yeah.
mean, I wanted to be the last person. You know what I'm saying? Like, like what is it called? Children of Men? Oh, the last young person died, or the last, you know what I'm saying? Remember that? The youngest kid died type of thing.
Right.
Well, I wanted there to be a news article, the last person to never have COVID. It's Eric Nakamura, a giant robot. Like I wanted that, but I don't get to
You
have
work in
that.
you have retail spots. You have
I
like
don't care.
employees,
But I mean, you're a guy on the go, expensive restaurants, going
Please.
to Europe, you know, um, art shows,
Europe.
all this kind of stuff, and here you are, no COVID. What the heck?
Most of it, yeah. Well, I went
Very
to the
amazing.
freaking Louvre in Paris, and like, man, that
Yeah.
place is like that is a super spreader like environment, and
Yeah.
I did not catch COVID, which is freaking. And I there were times because it was hot. It's hot in Paris when we went there, and I was just kind of like, oh, I'm not wearing my mask because, or I forgot to put my mask on because it's so fucking hot, But
And you
you
made
know,
it. So cool.
I made it. Yeah,
How,
still a contender for the last man to never catch COVID.
see, I can't. That's where the bummer part is. I can't. I'm not a contender and I'm out. There's a
Actually,
finality to that I don't like. Like I want to fight my way. Like I want to buy myself back in, but I can't.
you can't.
You know what I'm saying? It's like battle royale. I lost. You're still in the game. No,
I'm
see,
still in the
that's
game.
kind of what it's like. You're still in the game. Walking Dead. I'm a zombie. You're not. Say I lost. It's a bummer.
Oh,
I see it that way.
I'm
Anyway,
sorry.
so what about art wise? 2022. Aside the art shows, and you had one in Rome and one in Australia. How did that go? Your own personal art stuff.
Well, the one thing that I'm like, I have like that I've been kind of keeping kind of track on, but not really, is all this NFT shit that like been happening. Like 2020, 21, 2021 kind of felt like the year of the NFT, and then
Yeah.
2022 was the end of it. Like
At least the
it,
beginning was okay, and I think, yeah, soon somewhere in the middle, yeah, somewhere in the middle, it just started to dive. That was pretty crazy. And now it's
yeah,
just like fucking done. I think it's done. I
I,
don't
I,
know. I don't know. There's
I
somebody
feel
out there
bad
that's
that
probably
I
still going to do well, but
right, right. But like I feel bummed in the sense that I feel like I missed out in a lot of, the opportunities. Like, there are people. I was talking to someone, and he knows people who like bought houses with NFT money. You know,
sure.
I'm still a renter, so
Yeah.
you know,
I think it was a bonanza that you had to jump on and get out. That's the thing. If you thought keeping it in would have been a good idea, you might actually be effed. It depends how you leveraged Ethereum, like how did you leverage it before it all kind of went down and then whatever. I mean, it
Yeah.
went down, but I mean, if you did really well, then instead of really well, you've only done well. That's not bad. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like
No,
Ethereum
like
went down, but
what
I
do you
mean,
mean?
it's not near zero. It's still worth money. It's, you know, there is value to it. It's just not as high as it was. I don't,
Right,
it's
right.
all, you know, it's where it's at, and it's not awful. It's just not good.
Wasn't Ethereum wasn't Ethereum at its peak like worth like $4,000 a coin or something like
Yeah,
that?
now it's like what I don't know what it is. I didn't look today,
Fifteen
but is it
hundred
like
dollars
twelve
a
hundred?
coin.
It's
Yeah.
$100.
No,
It is
fifteen
not.
hundred.
Oh,
Fifteen
okay.
hundred. Yeah.
I mean, that's not great, but if you sold millions, then you might only have a little bit of millions, not tons of millions, right? You know what I'm saying? It like
If you didn't cash out,
maybe if you didn't cash
if
out, you're only
yeah.
worth some millions. You know, whatever, right? That's the bright side.
It was a weird phenomenon, like this idea of like, I really tried wrapping my head around it, and I kind of understand like why maybe, you know, younger generations might be attracted to this idea because they, have existed in digital, like, in worlds where like everything they were buying was existed digitally, whether it's skins for your characters or whatever. But like the idea of selling a JPEG, you know, it just, or a GIF, you
Yeah.
know,
But it's
it's
not done yet, right? I mean, might it work out in a couple years and find a new way for it to work? I don't know.
I
I don't
don't
know if it's final. Like, is this it? I mean, I don't think so. You know, I'm sure
know.
there's going to be some kind of a way that this is going to like work out in the future, but we'll see. It's going to have to go with crypto, right? Because
Right.
crypto went down. I don't think cryptos went down because of NFTs. So I
No.
just think it just went for the ride, which is far south. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, well, those that invested and speculated thought, okay, I'm going to buy this NFT for $1,000, and then today it's worth 200 and something, right? Maybe,
Right.
and if you can sell it, it might be worth 200 and something, but you know, you've lost three-quarters of the value on it, maybe. So that's kind of how I think a lot of people who have it and who are speculating on it are looking at it. It's just
Well,
that it went down.
there was that guy who freaking like bought like Jack Dorsey's first tweet.
Oh, yeah, that one. I don't know what it's. I mean, I'll buy it from him for $1,000 if that's what it is, but I think it's worth more than that. But yeah, he spent millions, and then it's worth a lot less. So
Yeah, that kind of was like the first like shot that of like, oh, this entire like thing is falling apart. It's falling
yeah,
apart fast, and it kind of like really brought like a lot of shit art, you know, to
yeah.
the forefront. Like,
But that's what was selling.
yeah,
That was the
what?
weirdest part is in our universe that's bad art.
Mhm.
In their universe, that's what they wanted.
Right.
That was like first choice,
It
you
was
know.
a
And I was like, but it's
novelty,
bad.
or fucking like maybe it was just like the novelty of how shit it was that like
They don't
fucking
think. I think it's sort of like that Breakfast Club analogy. You know, the people that are in math club and they have a party, a banquet, that they're partying, they're having a good time. The jocks are like, dude, that is nerdy shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like from on their point of view, they're like bored apes. Oh, it's the best. I don't know. The art is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like
mm.
there's a weird dichotomy there. You know,
I
like
mean,
it's
the
just
Bored Apes
to
thing
me
was kind of interesting just because of the fact that
that's a celeb thing, but just still bad art, right?
yeah,
What I think is
no, I
bad
mean, yeah,
art.
I thought the art was fucking garbage, but the idea of like, you know, doing things like mutating, illustrations and freaking like, giving him pets, like the technology that was attached to that entire
That's because I had more money behind it. But
right.
imagine all the stuff that's mediocre money, well, money wise, or low end wise. What about all of that?
There was
I
a lot of fucking crap, a lot of fucking crap that came out of
it's
that.
interesting.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
It's
like
no, the
personally.
interesting thing is that it's all sold, it's out there, and I just yeah, but it it's, I guess it was sort of a fad or a trend at the
Right.
fad or a trend that is on a low right now.
Yeah.
It is at the location of where Furbies and Beanie Babies,
Cabbage Patch
maybe
Kids
Cabbage Patch Kids. It's the
tickle me
if
elmo.
there's an online flea market, that's where it all would all be, right?
That's where it all should be.
That's where the flea markets. That's where you want a Furby really bad. You go to a flea market, maybe you'll find one.
Yeah.
But I think that's sort of like where it all ends up.
Uh,
The online flea market.
uh, you know, yeah. I don't know. It's yeah. It's all weird. Like all of
Oh,
this
it's
shit
tough.
is just
I think there's a technology aspects really neat, but then I think the just the money chasing part is kind of, or the collecting money chasing part is what kind of, it's that's more souring, I think. But the technology, like the potential of what it is, this blockchain, what that is, it's that to me is still interesting.
yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
right? That part's rad. It's just that it just got used in just bad baseball cards or bad, you know what I'm saying? Bad comic books of the, or whatever it is, the 90s. You know what I'm saying? It was overproduced, um, out of control. And, ultimately, even the best of then is not even worth as much as it should be because it was, overproduced, right?
Right.
Same.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened there. Maybe. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
anyways. Anyway.
But I really like following this Sam Bankman Fried guy. The guy from that FTX.
Oh,
I didn't like that. That's been really interesting. I mean, it's kind of hit a rock right now, but I mean, it's just so interesting how he created his own exchange and his own coin and his own this and then his own investment firm, and all of it was like it all led to fraud.
yeah.
It's wild. It's like,
It
whoa,
is wild.
that's wild.
Yeah, I was keeping up with that for a
Yeah,
while.
I am.
It's slowed
Yeah,
down, but like it'll pick
it
back.
slowed down just on but I mean, it's just one of those things that's just so crazy. So, but that also like triggers more distrust in crypto anything. Just from the layman who doesn't really know, they're just like, oh my god, it's so much fraud in crypto, right? That's the headline you get out of it all.
All right.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, okay, that sours your NFTs, sours crypto even more, right? Everything just sort of tumbles downwards from just even that. So
Mm.
it's out of control.
Well, and all good ideas have ups and downs, and we're all just seeing the down right now.
Yeah, the
It'll
downs
smooth
are
it
powerful right now.
out.
You know, shit, tiny bits of shit smells really bad, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like there you go. In the world economy, I mean, the Sam Bankman-Fried guy's tiny. He's an ant, but his shit is stinky.
Yeah,
So, you know what I mean?
yeah. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing. It'll kick back up once he gets. Has he already been extradited? I think he's.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh,
He actually is free on bond, I guess you would say. Um,
mm,
yeah, I learned a little bit about that because it's $250 million. It's a $250 million bond, right?
oh
Or
wow.
so there's no bail bonds person that can help, and it's also federal. So evidently, federal, you don't use a bondsman or bonds person.
Right.
On that one, you're not putting up 10%. You're
Oh
not
wow.
doing that. So I don't really know how it works, but his parents put up their $4 million house, and that I guess, and then he needed four people to sign off on him being released, like to be somewhat responsible. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's financially responsible for 250 million. I don't know, but
Yeah, but like even for
he's free.
50
But he is
million.
free right now with an ankle monitor.
Yeah, a $4 million house barely fucking takes a fucking chip out of that 250 million
Yeah,
dollar.
it's sort of weird. I sort of don't understand it, but I mean, I just know that it's federal and it's different than if you just were doing something else and you're robbing a bank and then you get like $1 million bail. That's it. Evidently, it's different. A bank might be different. I'm not sure. That might be federal on its own.
Yeah. Hmm.
But yeah,
Eagle
liquor store.
bracelet,
Let's say you
no
robbed a liquor store,
passport.
it'd be different. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll find out more. So I guess that leads up to another techno topic.
Yes.
The techno topic, AI art.
Oh, say
Oh,
no to AI art.
yeah. I think that's really funny, right? You're seeing the circle. What is it called? That no AI art, right? Like you're starting to see that. Maybe you from maybe a week ago is when I started seeing it on Instagram.
Yeah, so it's well. I was Patrick actually turned me on to like some of the AI art
Patrick
stuff.
from Monkey King,
Patrick
FYI,
from
right?
Monkey King,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Turned me on to it like sometime like during the summer, and it was pretty clumsy, and it was really creating kind of weird, unusual images. But like in like half a year, it has refined itself to like this weird level. Like it refined the tech like really kind of like ramped up to the point where it started kind of creating some pretty like interesting things. But I don't know, the thing that like has really caught my eye are all these like artists who feel threatened by AI art. You know, have you run into a bunch of those people?
Threatened. I wouldn't say no. Actually, I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't, the conversation of AI art is there, but to me, it's a lot less than the NFT conversations that were happening when that was like a thing maybe last year.
Right.
But like I hear about AI art, but it already has died down for me. Like in hearing about it, I think I heard about it more 6 months ago, and I feel like it's a lot less today than it was even 6 months ago.
Well, I think it's because there's like these apps. Like I think I downloaded one of them, but I never actually opened it. I just downloaded it because I was like wanting to find time to play with it. It was called geez, where
Yeah, I never tried it, so
yeah,
yeah,
I think it was one of those apps where everyone was like, taking like weird selfies or taking photos
yeah,
from, and it was like making them look kind of like digitally rendered,
yeah. Was
whatever.
that recently though? I think I
Yeah,
just seen that recently.
that
I
was
think
really recent.
yeah, yeah.
And
I've been seeing people do that.
oh, it's called Lenza or something like
Okay,
that.
but
Not,
is that considered AI art though?
I think it is. I think it
Yeah.
is
Okay.
because apparently, like, I was overhearing, like, I was reading little bits, and people were saying, like, oh, like, we're, they're taking styles from all of these notable artists, like, the Korean artist that you're friends with, who passed away this year.
Oh, Kim Jong Gi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Somebody, gosh, did you see that? They got in a little. Yeah, Kim Jong Gi passed away, and a guy made AI art with Kim Jong Gi's work,
Mm.
and he got a lot of hate for that because it was too soon. I guess like it was like
Right.
it was a tribute to Kim Jong Gi, but the tribute was AI art
Right.
tribute of his work, and it's like, oh, the biggest insult since he was especially analog, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that wasn't thought out well enough, and I don't know, whatever.
But apparently, like I guess what it seemed like they were creating kind of like they're feeding like AI filters or thing like whatever his work in order to be able to like have other people like just insert like ideas together and freaking
Yeah,
like output it in his style or whatever.
that's sort of like the building blocks of what it is, right? I
Mhm.
guess is it learns a style from examples, like even yours, right? You could put in like 25 Luke Chu images, and supposedly it can churn out whatever you ask, right?
It'll
In
all
Luke
just
Chu
look the
style.
same. It'll all just
It,
look the same.
a bear
A bear.
eating an ice cream, a bear, you know. But then it wouldn't have the Luke Chu downer charm.
Yeah, yeah,
Most people would be like, "Oh, a happy bear at Disneyland," right? Whereas like Luke's would be like holding an ice cream cone, but then the cone is empty and the ice cream had fallen off, right? So it's
yeah.
just like an empty cone, right? That's Luke Chu. It's like, oh, where's the ice cream? Oh, it fell.
There it
Right?
is.
That's Luke.
That's
And
me.
it's
That's
simple as my command.
yeah.
But I know you pretty okay, so I think that helps. But most people probably wouldn't get it. They'll be like, "Oh no, it's a bear that's kind of happy. The happy bear." I don't know. With many ice creams. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what it is. I don't Are you hearing about it a lot these days, or is it
Not,
ramping down?
it seems to have died down recently, but like I don't know. The fad of like, people, taking their pictures from Facebook, their profile pics from
Oh,
Facebook,
that, yeah.
filtering the shit out of them, seems to have kind of died down a little bit. But
Because I see people doing anime characters, or trying to be, all of a sudden it's like me in anime style, right? I
all
see
right,
that a
yeah,
lot.
that's the big TikTok filter.
And I don't know if that's even, is that AI related or is that not? I'm not sure, but
It kind of is AI
Is
related
it? I don't know.
because it's
It's
like,
different than the AI art that we're talking about, though, where it kind of takes someone's style and then creates more quote original work with that.
well, I think
You know what I mean?
I'm not sure if it was you and I who were talking about this, but I was talking to someone, and we're kind of saying like the only like people that should truly feel like threatened by AI art are like people who own like stock image portfolios.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like if your thing is like a whole bunch of like Simu Liu photos, freaking like, looking cheerful in an office, like
Yeah.
you can like, easily recreate like, new ones with
Yeah.
AI art.
And also, I guess that goes with any kind of illustration. Like, let's say you are the New York Times and you want to, or New Yorker, and you have an article and now you want an illustration and you could just use AI art and get it for free, right? You know?
Mm-hmm.
In Luke Chu style, I want like a boardroom image with blah 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 talking, and it's all a bunch of bears, bare-headed, suited gentlemen, right, or something, right? You know what I'm saying though? It's like it can be done that way, right? In the style of Adrian
Right.
Tomine, I would like two people walking down a park pathway,
Yeah.
at night, and it's like instantly here you go, right? And I guess you can always do that, and then always have an image. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how it works, but that's kind of what I think something to be afraid of is the fact that it can just take place of that.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
the illustrators who would be threatened, or and stock art people.
Yeah, no one's
Yeah.
going to make their money. Like right, it's going to be free images from now and using someone else's style maybe,
Mm,
allegedly someone else's style and
allegedly, it's kind of hard though. Like,
it's hard. Yeah, you'd have to prove it and they'll be like, "No, that's not Adrian Tomine. That's more like Gilbert Hernandez," and you're be like, "Oh." It's like, "Oh, but it's not him either. It's more like so and so." And it's just like, who is it? Nobody. Ultimately it's AI. I'm
mm,
not sure. I'm not sure where it's going or what the legislation will be, if at all, if ever. But
yeah.
where there's money, there is fire. you know, right?
That's good. That's good. I like that.
It's
I
true,
like
but it's same as all the graffiti that got used in backgrounds that became lawsuits, right? Sort of. It's like
right.
people weren't respecting the graffiti and they're putting in the backgrounds of commercials and stuff like that. And then the graffiti artist said, "Fuck that. That's our art,"
Yeah.
and started fighting against it. So there was money.
Hmm.
Then here came the fire right behind it, right? Jeff Soto. Yeah,
Absolutely.
right?
We're looking. We're thinking.
Maybe that's where it starts to, when that fires up, it'll happen.
Well,
God, they could do that with, can't they do that with the music?
I think they've been doing that. Like,
Like I want Soundgarden meets Cocteau Twins. Where's that? Like,
but like
it's good.
there were AI like rappers and stuff like that that were like being signed to um like record labels.
But were
In
they? But they
Japan,
weren't human
there's
beings.
what?
They weren't human
They
beings.
weren't human beings.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh, I see. It was. They were just, yeah. They were digital idols, I guess you would say, right?
Right.
In
Right.
like Japanese shit, they were doing that.
Yeah, like Hatsune Miku, the blue-haired
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
anime,
The character
vocal.
it's a concept, but then the music though is done by real musicians. Can we make AI music now?
I'm sure it's
Like I
probably.
want Geddy Lee as the drummer from Rush with the lead singer of the Thompson Twins, and like Jack White on the guitars, and you know what I mean. Just like you come up with your own weird 4-person band that all of a sudden AI is like, oh yeah, I guess I'm gonna make this into a song, make an album instantly, right?
I,
I don't know.
I
Is that
I
is
think we're getting close because I've seen AI art stuff, AI like lyric writing.
Oh
That's
yeah, that's that Chat GBT, I think is what it's called. It's like a thing that I've been hearing about more in the last 1 week than ever.
mm,
Yeah, and it's a writing thing called Chat. I think it's GBT. I don't know what that means, but it's some kind of a program or something, and that's what you can in Ernest Hemingway style, write this thing, and then you put in a prompt, and then it starts filling in
Mm,
words and sentences, and hopefully it gets better and better, ideally. But as it's learning,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that I've been hearing about that all of a sudden in the last 1 week or 2 weeks maybe. Then I didn't even hear about it before that.
And I'm sure that like it's just about pouring enough like pop music, into a machine that's dedicated to dissecting and understanding song structure, and
Yep. But then it's like one of those things. How do you know where it even comes from? Like, let's say, it's so disguised that how do you know? How do you prove it?
well, I think it's been
Like,
like they've been working on that for a long time because I remember
yeah.
like years ago hearing an article about like they had created a program that was studying all the Billboard number ones, and
Wow.
they were and like kind of like breaking down like why certain songs have reached number one, and you know like how long they've been on number
Wow.
one for,
Oh,
etc.
that's not surprising, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, you know exactly what to do for your own art to sell it, right?
Mm, just
Paint a bear.
give
Number one, paint a bear. That's
the
the
bear.
starting point, right?
It needs
I
to
mean,
be a
there's like,
bear.
like, don't do a sloth, or do a sloth. I'm not sure, but it's just a starting point. You kind of get it already. So,
That sloth. My freaking sloth was the best painting I've done ever.
and that sloth is now in Terada's studio in Japan, and it is the only painting on his wall.
What?
I saw a picture where it's at, and his studio, and there's one painting, and that's all it is the sloth on the middle of a wall, and there's nothing else on that wall except, I mean, I don't think there's stuff, but there's the sloth painting. That's it.
No.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
thank you very much,
He really
Rada.
Terada really he really liked it. I guess he thought about it because he asked me about it that night, and then he said he wants it. And yeah, it was pretty awesome. I was kind of like, whoa. And then it is the only, literally, he sent me a picture. It's the only painting on his wall.
You gotta send me a picture of that,
Yeah, it's
so I
pretty awesome. I was like,
can see it.
whoa. Yeah.
Because yeah, I was looking forward to taking. I was going to give you a month. I was going to give you the end of the year to
Only needed an extra day.
to move.
Or wait, was it that night? I think it was that night.
And then I
It
was
didn't.
gonna like
Yeah.
I was gonna take it home and I was gonna put it up, just to like look at it, like
Leave it to Giant Robot, who loves you, baby.
leave it to Eric Nakamura.
Who loves you anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
uh,
Yeah, we're trying to we're I think we had talked about this, and we're trying to make these like podcasts a little bit smaller.
try to,
Yeah. And so
and awesomer.
yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know.
A little more like
Right now, the rabbit ears are right above your head. It's amazing. Just so you know, that's anyway.
I'll keep it like
Yeah.
this. Get out, and then
Did you have a career low this year of any sort? Not like, just something that career related low, not career low.
Um. So, well, it was a combination of a high and a low. So, in like December or the end of November, early December, I had paintings in like basically four corners of the northern hemisphere. Like I had two paintings in Japan, Tokyo, two paintings in Paris.
You mean on the wall somewhere at the same time?
What was that?
On the wall somewhere, like
Yeah,
on a
yeah.
in a gallery wall?
These were all opening receptions
Oh
happening
wow,
like the same weekend.
wow.
Two paintings in Miami, and then four post-it
Oh,
notes at Giant Robot,
and
and
a sloth painting.
that came a week later.
It's okay.
But but so that was kind of amazing. But Japan, no buyers in Japan.
Where was is it? It was at a gallery in Japan. I
It was
remember
in,
seeing the flyer, and I was like, "Wow, that's rad." And then, but no buyers.
yeah, and it was in like Shibuya too, which is like there's a lot of people.
What do you think about that, or what was your opinion on that?
I,
I mean, you didn't show at Giant Robot in Japan, so of course it won't. It's gonna sit there. I'm kidding, but no, no. Like, I mean, do you attribute it to anything? Is it just, I mean, do you know of this place? Does it have a clientele? And
Um,
I don't know.
I'm inclined to believe that's a combination of a lot of things. One of them being that um, I just don't really, I've never like heard of Japan being a huge like art collecting country in the way that it is in like London or the way it is in New York and Los Angeles. Um, but also like the yen was pretty weak at the time.
Yeah.
So
Was it priced in yen?
it was priced in yen.
I mean, that, but I mean, it was just a direct, $2,000 in US, but then here it is in yen, like
300,000 yen.
whatever it is. Yeah. Was it like that? I mean, I don't,
And yeah, so I because like yeah, the yen has been pretty weak.
but do they know your pricing anyway? You think the customers there versus somebody who might just see it and go, I want that, you know?
No, yeah, see, I think that that might be part of it, right?
Hmm.
Like
Could be.
I know
Yeah.
I've got like some interests here and there in like, part of the Chinese market. It might be attributed to like me being Chinese American. That might help. Also, my
Hmm.
aesthetic probably might lend itself to this entire like, pop art kind of thing that's been going on the past, decade or so.
Funko Pop. I'm kidding. I don't, no, I get it. And
Wow.
you're part of the art popular culture. I'm whatever that is in the world. You're definitely
Yeah.
part of it. Plus, you do toy figures as well, so there's a crazy cross section of all of it. But
Right.
yeah,
Right. And I think that like I like Paris wasn't a problem, Miami wasn't a problem, Los Angeles wasn't a problem,
so
but
you sold art in Miami too.
mhm, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was I
Congrats.
think it was all happening during Art Miami. Um,
That was just 1 month ago,
yeah.
roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, congrats.
So, but I don't know.
Do you think so that's good, to hear. Do you think there's what do you call it, going to be a market stall of some sort in 2023,
Well, everyone's been talking
especially
about
for, but I'm
recession.
talking about especially not your the drawings that would sell very well at Giant Robot, but more so those $15,000 paintings, that thing is do I'm not sure if you
I
have
know, dude. I know
any
people.
insight or prediction there.
I no prediction whatsoever.
Yeah.
But like I go out to art shows masked, and
Yeah.
I look around and like I've seen like a lot of shows and like sales in general just don't seem quite as brisk as they have been. You know.
Right. I remember you coming and saying that one day, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like, yeah, I remember you said that,
Yeah.
and I was wondering if that was already you said that maybe 3 months ago, or I was wondering if it's escalated since then.
Haven't noticed any escalation, but like it's and I've been kind of like adjusting things to a certain degree, and that like so when I did my Australia show, everything was just 8 inch by 10 inch paintings. When I did my you know um, my my Rome show, like it wasn't I didn't do a ton of paintings. I did like I think 15 or 16 paintings, which for a solo show is you know on the lower end,
Hmm.
and I think that it's and like so you just kind of feel it out, and you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to do 5 foot by 6 foot paintings. I'm not going to do like giant freaking Gannic paintings this year, like because it doesn't feel like there might be, or I'm not going to do 20 of these like 5 foot by 6 foot paintings. I'm going to do like one and like
Right.
matter it in with a whole bunch of small of various prices. At least
Yeah.
that's the way I have been kind of like
Yeah.
you know
It's like
in
weird though because 2023 is going to be in a few days. So is something going to change in 2 days? Probably not.
I'm not
So
a
I don't.
I am I am not a I cannot read the future.
No, no one can, and everyone who tries is usually wrong at some major juncture. There, it's like, dude, completely wrong, right? So
Right.
it's hard to. I wouldn't. Yeah,
So I'm not I'm
just
not
listen to your heart. Listen to your heart and what you want to do. I guess is kind of what I would just suggest. But
right.
every expert out there, it's just from my experience in 20, was it 2009? That whole like the financial collapse then, right?
Right. Right.
I
Well,
mean, I remember experts on the news were saying, "Oh, it'll be better in Q1 in a year," type of thing, and they were wrong.
they were
Everybody was
wrong.
wrong. They were wrong for years.
Yeah.
Like it didn't get better for years. So it's either this is a lot different situation, but yeah, hearing an expert say something, I'm just like, I just have to say no. I don't believe it.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know, so you just
I'm
have to go. You have to roll with it at every moment. Is what I suggest.
what about you? Like, how have you like noticed anything like in terms of the business that we call art?
Uh no, I think it's a. I mean, for me, I think it's because the art I sell isn't the highest. You know, isn't the highest
Price bracket.
price range. Maybe I think in that way, maybe it's in that way I'm kind of maybe I'm in a good spot. You
Right.
know, where I think. But then we'll see what happens. I mean, we don't know. But again, it's just one of those things that I'm definitely not in the most highest spot for art where I'm gonna see such things like
Hmm.
I'm selling lower priced work usually. So in that way, I think it's
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna I'll be safer for a longer amount of time than a person that's gonna rely on having one giant work that's like you know $500,000 or whatever it is, $100,000, and yeah, I have nothing to do with that. So you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I won't even understand. I don't even understand that, and that's not where I'm at. So I won't see that till later, maybe.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave it to the bottom feeder. Just I'm a roach. I'm gonna
You're
keep
you're no,
eating.
you're not a
I'm the
bottom
roach.
feeder. You're a freaking tastemaker. I don't know how many freaking like
I'm the roach.
how I don't know how many freaking larger galleries have grabbed your artists, like basically almost all of them in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I know. But oh well.
Uh,
But 2022, there's a documentary on Giant Robot.
There was that was great.
It just came out in October, so it's actually not even that long ago. It was late October at that, like basically late October,
Right.
and it
I
came
loved
out
it. I
then.
watched it twice. I watched
Yeah, thank you.
twice, two to three times actually.
It's only yeah. Just think, it's been out for literally was it, is it? It's been out for 2 months plus, a little over 2 months. But uh, yeah, that was a highlight in
That was awesome.
2022 for me. Right, that's a career highlight that I don't really know what it's doing, if it's doing anything physically like better, but it was an honor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if it's
It was
like
one of those. It was. I think it was the second most popular one from that season. The first one being the Love and Rockets one, but that
oh
was
yeah, and
also
the Love and Rockets one was the opener, and that was the one they publicized the most.
hmm,
Like that one was the first one, so they publicized their entire season with that.
hmm.
You know, up and coming in a month, there's this, and it's like, whoa, wow, are we gonna get that? And it's like, no, but they, you know what I
Like you
mean?
had the Janum screening. You took up two freaking like rooms with that screening.
Oh, the second room was yeah. So it's still I don't know if
Two
I could be
rooms,
all
buddy. Two
if I could
two
be picky about it. I
people had to
mean,
fucking park in Little Tokyo.
that's true. We'll see. More will come. We'll see what happens if there's any more life to this. But it's sort of like at the moment it feels like it almost never happened. It's sort of, I mean, of course I feel it, but
Mhm.
in terms of like people who've seen it or even talking about it, the topic is like straight down.
I mean that's
Yeah,
that's just the way media is in
sure.
general.
Yeah. So
Like
like the topic is, I hardly anyone else is watching it these days. I think I got one recent message saying, "Hey, I really liked it," and it was, you know, first one in a long time. So
yeah,
in a very short time, it's like come and gone. So we'll see what happens.
yeah.
I don't really know much about promotion of such things, and should it have a longer life than people watching it once and enjoying it and moving on, right? That's sort of what we do.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like,
That's
people,
okay. Maybe there's no more expectation than that, I guess, is what I'm getting at, like
well,
like a helicopter didn't come and dump a bunch of money in my backyard. That didn't happen.
right.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what's supposed to happen, but a lot of people have asked me like, has anything changed? And I'm like, no, and I wonder what that could be. Like what could change, but nothing has changed.
Well, I
Like
mean, I
nothing.
guess it would be a bunch of people like knocking on your door, going like, "Hey, like, we saw your documentary. Let's like, we need to talk about, this or
See,
that."
not
You
even one
know.
of those conversations has happened.
Mm.
So there, I'm saying, is that something supposed to happen like that? No, nothing like that's happened.
Well, I don't think
Yeah,
the
and it's
documentary was.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think the
Yeah,
documentary was designed to function like that.
yeah, but I guess it calls upon like it just gives you gives you focus, right? Like I'm sure if the documentary similarly was on you, you'd have people coming up to you going, I think we should do an animation. We should do an NFT. We should do a blah 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 blah. Right? And it's like I didn't have any of that, but I'm
mm,
sure you would have people lining up going, Luke, we gotta do this. Luke, we gotta do that. You know, right? I would have to believe that, but for me, no, nothing like that anyway.
no, no, no.
Like hey, giant
I don't. I
robot, we
don't.
should
I
do a
don't have.
collaboration. We should do a collaboration. No,
Artbound has
no,
not been
no,
knocking on my door,
no
so
collaboration has happened. Yeah, nothing like
you know.
that. It's okay, and it's okay. I'll do
I
my
mean,
own.
Blaine, you know what the problem is? I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is that I am not in the documentary. It would have.
You are for just a moment, for a split second, but yeah,
They did not fucking document any of the amazing pearls of wisdom that I.
there's a yeah, some people have said there should be a series, which is too much, right? But yeah,
I think a
there's so
series
much
is.
that so much was left out. So I mean, but you
There
can't
was
have
a
it all in one.
lot that felt like that could have been in there, and
Yeah,
I still see like a lot of like, I don't know. I imagine that like I mean you're a busy guy. You're like managing a gallery and a retail spot and like your life in general. We're not getting any younger, so it's harder to be able to like you know start up new projects like.
yeah.
But
That's why you hope somebody else comes to you and goes, "I got this. Do you want to work on this?" But I haven't had that. Not even
Yeah.
one.
What are you talking about? I, I we're supposed to do. We're supposed to publish some stuff together, buddy.
But that was before the documentary. Like that was already there. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about new shit and from strangers, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's
Well,
okay. But all that is okay. Like even without it, it's fine. But I'm just saying is, yeah, there has been no change. But people have asked. That's one of the questions I get asked the most. Is is there change? Is there something that's happened? And I'm like,
I couldn't even
no.
imagine like what that change would be. Like
Yeah, but I've been asked that a bunch. That's the question I get asked most, at least 10 times now. Like what? Like what has happened?
like
And I'm
you've been
like,
hustling this entire freaking time. So
I know,
like,
but I want the stranger to go see this big this fucking safe of money. Here, let's work on this and let's use this money in this safe to do this. And that hasn't happened. Like see that dumpster? It's full of money. Let's use that and make this or that.
you
Hasn't
never
happened.
know. You never know. Something can happen.
The
Something.
dumpster of money.
So, all right, man. Freaking.
It doesn't need to be, but I'm saying is, that I'd love to hear it just once so I could be like, oh, that was crazy that happened. No. Oh, I was on the Dumbfounded podcast. Does that count?
That was cool. I didn't see that episode. I heard there was
Yeah,
like an accent fucking thing where you guys are doing
yeah,
accent.
that was awesome. That was a fun podcast. And let's see, I spoke. I'm going to speak at UCLA January 11th
Oh, nice.
because of the documentary. So there's that.
That's the window of opportunity, buddy.
What's the opportunity to me speak at a college?
That's when the helicopter pilot might be like in attendance.
A student. Maybe the student has a dad who's a helicopter pilot
There it
or
is.
has a jet that's gonna
that's
take
going to
me
dump
to,
money right into your backyard.
yeah, exactly. I don't know, but like I said, that's not even a bad deal hasn't happened.
Hmm.
Like, hey, how about if we just scrape up every cent you have and let's do this? I'll be like, oh no, and rope Luke into it too, and let's see what happens to both of you.
Hmm. No,
You know,
we'll see.
I don't know.
You know,
Yeah,
you've got this UCLA lecture. That's
it.
pretty great.
Oh, cat just joined us.
Oh, hi,
But
Kat.
anyways, yeah. So, do you what's your do you have the big plans for 2023? I mean, it's only in
Oh,
2 days.
I'm going to tell you what my big plan for 2023 is.
All right.
Besides
I
from
mean, this is
probably
sort of like a resolution, but not, plans. It doesn't have to be a resolution, but
as
it could be.
I mean, like I've got a show. I've got a solo at Corey Holford in August, which is I'll
Awesome.
be full pretty hard
Congrats.
on. Thank you. But the one thing I want to try and make happen, I have to do it with you, Eric Nakamura. I want to try and like get Robot and the Bear at least bi-weekly.
Wow. Yes.
You know, like
Wow.
bi-weekly. Like that's what I'm going to like
Wow.
make put the effort in to try and have you and I get on this beat, you know, at least somewhat regularly because the pandemic
Wow.
kind of took a lot of no, I think that's a good goal.
That's
What
a
do you
great
think?
goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were like I thought it was going to be a me situation, like where you're going to go, I want to do more art. I want to make more. I want to do this. I didn't realize you want to do something together and this podcast that, you know, does its thing barely, but it does its thing. But I love it.
Well, the
Okay.
pandemic really took a lot of the sail out of the wind out of its sail. But like, I still think that this is a fun format to like
Oh, it's
talk
totally
and
fun. It's very fun.
yeah. So
Yeah.
even if we only have 20 people listening to it, we still are big in Thailand. Or
That's true. Yeah, yeah. Thailand. There you go.
and that's what's important.
Yeah.
So,
Are we
but
gonna make? Could we make the robot and the bear, the robot bear figure? Could we ever make
yes,
that
I think we should make that
in 2023?
in 2023. We should make that.
Okay.
Absolutely, we should make
Okay.
that, and we'll I'll even try and like find the time to work on some different illustrations to like make it freaking you know
Mind blown.
like
Mind blown.
that's the thing that we should be like freaking like working we should be working on is our graphics campaign. Like the content is still going to be the same, but we're going to level up that you know the gear. We're gonna have t-shirts. we're gonna
Okay.
have
Okay. Funny.
we're gonna have prints.
Let's go.
It's gonna be amazing. We'll have a
Wow.
pop-up we'll have a pop-up location.
Okay. Let's do it. That's 2023.
That's
I love
2023.
it.
I
I
don't know
love it.
about any of that stuff, but I do really want to uh,
Let's try.
yeah, make the effort.
Every other week. That means 26 episodes next year.
That's yeah.
Sounds in the realm of
Like
possibility.
I'm saying every other week. Just I mean, like ideally it would be fun if it was weekly, but like we all got shit going on, so like 20 but bi-weekly I think is within reason. 45-minute to an hour long podcasts.
Wow.
Yeah,
We can do it.
we can do it. It's not
We
it,
can do it.
you know, and we'll try and tighten up our game too.
Wow. Okay. Today's pretty tight though.
Pretty tight.
We had topics,
We got a little loosey goosey toward the end there.
but we had some topics there. We stayed up. We sort we're still talking about the end of the year and peeking into next year, and we just let off that's a bomb you just dropped right there.
What we should one of these days we should look into like getting a producer.
I know somebody that can do that, but that's not free. That's going to cost and
No,
blah 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 blah. It's not free. It's going to cost.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
like this, like someone to like yeah, to help us freaking like eventually we gotta get that freaking like Blue Apron sponsor.
Blue Apron.
We gotta get that
Awesome. Right
Squarespace
on.
sponsor.
Oh, let's
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Squarespace. Anyway, all right.
All
All
right,
right.
man. But
Cool, man.
let's have a happy New Year.
You
And
too. Oh, lastly, what is your plan? What's the plans for New Year's? Do you do anything anymore?
no,
You're going to go out and party and I don't know.
no,
Like
no,
eat
no.
the 3-star Michelin meal at like midnight, the stroke of midnight.
That's
You take a bite of a 3-star
dude.
meal.
Going
Ah,
out to eat on New Year's Eve is like trying to go out to eat on freaking Christmas Day or Thanksgiving. The food's all fucking garbage,
oh
and
yeah, yeah.
so like um, you know,
I agree.
yeah.
I mean, that's people are churning shit out just to party, right? So
You're right, and
yeah, it's a set
there's
menu so they can just make it easier and sell tons.
and they're like it's everything's packed and
Sure.
everything and everyone's stressing out just to try and like get over the hump of shit. So
Gotcha.
not
I
worth it.
agree. No, just like it's the same as Valentine's Day.
Oh,
It's a scammer. It's a scam.
it's a scam.
Take it from retail man himself who
Yeah,
knows
man.
scams.
Just go to freaking Apple Pan,
Oh,
have a romantic freaking hamburger and a you know
you know what?
and
I think
fries.
hamburgers and fries can be just as romantic as a 3-star Michelin meal. Why not?
I agree. I
It
agree.
depends on you, It's you. It's
Good
not the
on you.
food.
Yeah,
It's the
man.
you.
Like, yeah,
It's
don't.
the you.
Yeah.
Are you going to be uptight and all shitty at the 3-star meal because it's all expensive and you're going to be like fun-loving, hilarious and great at the In-N-Out burger?
Dude, go
They
and
like you for the
out
hilarious great,
wonderful
not
there.
the uptight,
Yeah,
the three
exactly.
the happy hamburger guy. That's you, man.
Man,
It's all of
be
us.
the happy hamburger guy. Don't,
Yeah,
you know?
that's the personality that got you here. Anyways, okay, man, have a good New Year's and all that stuff. But
Happy New Year's,
we shall
guys.
reconvene soon.
Yes, I'll see you in a week or two.
Alrighty, take care,
Alrighty,
man.
guys.
Much love.